Welcome to Marking the Word, a quiet space to slow down, read scripture, and reflect on the text line by line. If you're new here, this channel is a personal journey through the Bible from cover to cover. Each week, we take one chapter, read through it together, and highlight key verses and notes along the way. Whether you're following along with your own Bible, studying, or just listening in to find a moment of calm, I'm glad you're here. And as usual, we are using the World English version of the Holy Bible. This is a 100% public domain modern English translation. We can freely copy, display, overlay, and record the text digitally without copyright restrictions or licensing fees. Today, we are in the book of Genesis, chapter 4, I believe. So let's get to that page and dive in. The man knew Eve, his wife. She conceived and gave birth to Cain and said, I have gotten a man with Yahweh's help. Again, she gave birth to Cain's brother, Abel. Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. As time passed, Cain brought an offering to Yahweh from the fruit of the ground. Abel also brought some of the firstborn of his flock and of its fat. Yahweh respected Abel and his offering, but he didn't respect Cain and his offering. Cain was very angry, and the expression on his face fell. Yahweh said to Cain, Why are you angry? Why has the expression of your face fallen? If you do well, won't it be lifted up? If you don't do well, sin crouches at the door. Its desire is for you, but you are to rule over it. Okay, so we have two new characters, right? Now we've got Cain, the eldest, and we also have Abel. I kind of want to go back and see what the issue was here. So it looks like he brought some of the fruit from the ground. I wish there was more detail here because it almost makes it seem like he just brought just whatever he gathered. And then Abel brought some of the firstborn. I guess that's got more value and shows, I don't know, more of a commitment. I don't know. I'm unsure about that. Isn't that interesting? And Cain is upset, and God notices that. Cain said to Abel, his brother, Let's go into the field. While they were in the field, Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and killed him. Oof, well that got a little extreme real fast. Yahweh said to Cain, Where is Abel your brother? He said, I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? Yahweh said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries to me from the ground. Now you are cursed because of the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. From now on, when you till the ground, it won't yield its strength to you. You will be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. Cain said to Yahweh, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, you have driven me out today from the surface of the ground. I will be hidden from your face, and I will be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. Whoever finds me will kill me. Yahweh said to him, Therefore, whoever slays Cain, vengeance will be taken on him sevenfold. Yahweh appointed a sign for Cain, so that anyone finding him would not strike him. Cain left Yahweh's presence and lived in the land of Nod, east of Eden. I'm going to stop there for a second because that was big. So, the first murder, yikes, happened rather quickly, didn't it? So, Cain kills Abel. And then he gets a little sassy with God, honestly. Um, I know I've heard that before. I'm my brother's keeper. And even with a sass, God gives him a consequence. All right, well, from now on, you're just not going to get what it is that you're looking for. When you till the ground, and you got to get out of here. And look at the mercy that he still shows him. Because, of course, Cain is thinking, great, so now someone's going to kill me. Oh, I did it again. So God helps him out. Oop. That's a concern right here. And so he's like, okay, fine. No one's going to touch you. There we go. And he's off to wander the earth. So we're on verse 16. Cain left Yahweh's presence and lived in the land of Nod, east of Eden. Cain knew his wife. She conceived and gave birth to Enoch. He built a city and named the city after the name of his son, Enoch. Irad was born to Enoch. Irad became the father of Mehujael. Mehujael became the father of Methushel. Methushel became the father of Lamech. Lamech took two wives. The name of the first was Ada, and the name of the second one was Zillah. Ada gave birth to Jabal, who was the father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. His brother's name was Jubal, who was the father of all who handle the harp and pipe. Zillah also gave birth to Tubal-Cain, the forger of every cutting instrument of bronze and iron. Tubal-Cain's sister was Naamah. Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice. You wives of Lamech, listen to my speech. For I have slain a man for wounding me, a young man for bruising me. If Cain will be avenged 7 times, truly Lamech 77 times. Adam knew his wife again. She gave birth to a son and named him Seth, saying, For God has given me another child instead of Abel, for Cain killed him. A son was also born to Seth, and he named him Enosh. At that time, men began to call on Yahweh's name. I've always been curious because I remember reading this as a kid and thinking, oh my gosh, I am so confused. Like this person had this person and this person had that. It's a lot. So I'm literally going to try to count these. I'm just curious. I wonder, let's see if we can highlight. All right, I'm just going to try to count. Okay, let's see. Might not work. All right, so we've got Cain, which technically is what? The second generation, right? Because he came from Adam and Eve. So Cain is generation 2. And with his wife, he has Enoch. So that's 3. Okay. And then he builds a city. And then Irad is born to Enoch. So that's 4. Right? Okay, 4. And then he becomes a father to El. It's 5. this is Lamech gets it even more confusing because he has two wives. Whew. Okay, so Lamech. Oh man, now I'm confused again. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're on 7, and each wife kind of has her own thing. Okay, so Ada gives birth to Jabal, so that's 8, right? Okay, and then he has a brother, but they're the same generation. So I'm going to highlight it, but I'm going to keep in mind that they're the same generation. So we're still at 8, right? Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, these are both 8. And then Zillah's the second wife, and she gives birth to Tubal Cain, but I mean, it's the same generation as Jabal and Jubal, so they're still 8. And then, interestingly, we don't mention that Zillah gave birth to Naamah. We just say, oh, she's Tubal Cain's sister, but that's fine. Okay, so now, let's see, Lamech to his wife, and then he starts talking. So these are all 8, even the sister. Oh my goodness. Keep doing that. So we're still at 8. All right. Lamech said to his wives, hear my voice, speech, warning me if Cain will be avenged 7 times, truly Lamech 77 times. Okay, this is confusing to me because let's see here. So Lamech is talking to his wives and he's telling them to listen to him. And I guess he confesses that he's hurt someone. He's slain a man. So he killed him. All right. Is he talking about himself? Truly Lamech 77 times? Okay. And then we're going all the way back to Adam. And now we're back at generation 2. And this is Seth. Right? Okay. So we've got the 8th generation and the 2nd generation. Interesting. Interesting dynamics. So a son was born to Seth. He was named Enosh. Okay. So there we go. So we have the 8th generation and the 3rd generation, because Enosh is the son of Seth, together. It would be so cool to see some kind of visual for this, I think. I don't know. It would just help along the way. This part right here, still a little confusing to me, to be honest. Not sure what that's about. So he's confessing that he killed a man. Truly Lamech 77 times. It's just, yeah, that's a little confusing. What are y'all thinking? If you know what this is talking about, I'm going to highlight it so you know exactly what I mean. But these verses right here, verse 23 through 24, what is his deal? I am very confused about this. I don't really know what it is that he's trying to say. Yeah. And it's in the weirdest part too, because it's just generation after generation, and we're kind of figuring that out. But like, anywho, interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Well, that was chapter 4. So, thanks for joining me in this weekly pause. Until the next chapter, take care and stay in the Word.